We finished the posture environment finding. We finished the posture application finding. Now we're going to move into the incidents. And of course, we're going to take an attacker-centric approach in investigating individual attackers, incidents, and so on. And again, for the purpose of all of us being on the same page, an attacker is just a user, an API user that used the API in an abnormal manner, right? And of course, that caused incidents to be created. We're going to go back to the no-name platform. We're going to go under runtime attackers. There are two main tables in the attackers page. To the left, you have the different attackers being identified with whatever credential the no-name platform has identified. So we have two of them identified by their IP, one identified by a JSON Web Token. Okay. And by selecting the individual attackers, we get to see the incidents that the corresponding attackers have triggered. Okay. The attackers can be sorted by rescore, recent, which one is the more recent one, and by confidence. Okay. The rescore there is a correlation. There's a strong correlation between the rescore, high, for example, medium, low, and the different incidents that have been triggered by the corresponding attacker. For example, in this case, the first one, the one that starts with IP173, high, the severity of the incident is high. Next one, medium, the severity of the incident is medium. The last one is low, and all the severities are set to low. Okay, so then we can see that at least with this small example, we can see that there is a correlation. Okay, the recent, of course, sorting by recent, which one the more recent attacker will be at the top, and so on. Confidence. Confidence is what does no name think with respect to a particular attacker. Okay, how confident is no name when it comes to identifying an attacker. So the first one, the one with 33, I'm sorry, the last one with IP173, it has a high risk, but it's only the no-name platform is only 33% confident that this is an actual attacker. The next one, 62%, and the last one is 93. Okay, and in fact, I can see that because this one has so many more incidents associated with him. Okay, so you need to play around with all of these in order to identify, okay, which one of these is valid, invalid, and so on, right? There is also an IP reputation. Some of them is unavailable, right? As you can see, the IP reputation for this one is trustworthy. This one is not available because this IP doesn't really exist, in all honesty. I came up with it when I was creating my sets of data. Same thing with this one, right? Okay, so not available. So pay attention to all the information before you decide what you need to do. Okay. Now, these attackers, there's a life cycle to all the attackers. Every time an attacker is identified for the very first time, it goes into the unidentified bucket, right? Or is set into the unidentified status. If I use this pull down menu, you will see the different statuses and the different states. Okay. The unidentified is the status where every single brand new attacker falls under. Then, as you start investigating, you start working on a specific attacker, change its status to investigating because you start working on him, right? What does it mean to investigate? To investigate an attacker, it means that you need to go and start checking all the different information that relate to that attacker. The confidence level, the risk level, the different IPs that are used, the IP reputation, the different user agents, and so on. That's what it means. Okay, you start investigating the attacker, and then you start investigating the individual incidents that were triggered by that attacker. Okay. Then you decide, right? Is this attacker somebody who is benign? I want to dismiss him. I don't care about him. You move him to dismissed. Is it somebody you need additional information? You move him into the monitor status. And then there are states as well, right? If you choose that a particular attacker, it's due to penetration testing, for example, right? You probably want to add him into the allowed state. And if it's an attacker is actually a bad actor, an actual attacker, probably you want to block access to him. Okay. So these are the different statuses and states. The very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you. I'm going to pick one of these. I'm going to pick the one that has high severity. I'm sorry, high risk score. Not severity, high risk score. The last one when you sort by confidence. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add it to the allow list because this is because of the penetration testing. Okay. So I'm going to select allow list. I'm going to use the IP. There's nothing else I can select, right? Because the IP is the identifying user, right? How we identify the user. I'm going to add a description, pen test, and I'm going to click add. Okay. Now the attacker disappears from the identified bucket status, and it's going to go under the allowed state. Here it is. Okay. The individual incidents of that attacker will also now be rejected. If I select one of these, you see, rejected, IP in allow list. Okay. The same thing can happen, the same thing can take place. For example, if I go back to my unidentified and I select the last one, when you sort by confidence, I can block. Unfortunately, we need a prevention integration before we're able to block from within the no-name platform, right? From within the no-name platform. By the way, there's a class NS501 IBM Data Power integration where I am showing how to create an integration and how to configure the prevention integration and how prevention works from within the no-name platform. Okay. Alrighty. With this, we have concluded pretty much a discussion of the different aspects of the attacker's page. There's more, for example, creating a workflow so that you're able to automatically block attackers. We discuss it in more detail in NS201 in all honesty, so that's why I'm not going to talk about it now. And with this, we're going to go back to our slides and we're going to deem this section as being done.